Why does business history matter? Hi, I'm Brian Pombo. Welcome back to Brian J. Pombo Live. I'm pointing to the outside of this book. You can see it's nice and yellow. I love old books, especially ones that I've been recommended or by interesting people from time. This happens to be Alistair Crompton's The Craft of Copywriting. This is one that's been recommended by many copywriters. Copywriting is the art of writing sales copy, the art and the science behind it. And this is one of those that's difficult to find, has not been reprinted in quite a long time. And I was able to find it online for a large amount for as far as a book goes, but a small amount for a good, rare book. Why do I go out of my way to buy rare books, audios, videos of past business history? In other words, the techniques, the strategies, and the principles that people way back talked about. Why does that intrigue me? Why is that interesting? Well, I'll tell you why. But first, I want to recommend my book, 9 Ways to Amazon Proof Your Business. If you want something that's really directed today, even if you're not into history, this will give you some resources you can get into that won't cost you that much money, but also it reveals some very turnkey strategies. They're going to take time, they're going to take effort. It's not a get rich quick thing, but if you're looking for some long-term strategies to be able to take your business to the next level, get my book, 9 Ways to Amazon Proof Your Business. You can go out and buy it, or you can go pick up a free copy at amazonproofbook.com. amazonproofbook.com. Okay, but what about the history? What about the old books like this, right? And this is one of those that's actually been sitting, I've bought it, and it's sitting on my to-read pile. My to-read pile grows quicker than my read pile because I'm a slow reader, but it doesn't stop me from going after it. This is stuff I know needs to be preserved, but also I want to understand the principles behind the tactics and the strategies. Even if the person's talking about nothing but principles and tactics, talking about nothing but strategies and tactics, I want to know the underlying principles of that, because that's something that never goes away. We've talked about it before, the old Jeff Bezos line about how, show me what isn't going to change in 10 years, and that's what matters most. What changes doesn't matter. What doesn't change is the things that you can build large companies. You can build large companies on top of those principles. So it's the principles that matter most. I'll give you a great example. The reason why this is hot in my mind, even though I do this stuff all the time, I just recently bought a old set, and I say old. I don't mean to be I don't mean to be putting down anybody in the audience. It's old in terms of most of my audio video collection of business tutorials and so forth. This happens to be from the 70s, from the late 70s, early 80s, somewhere in that time. And because it's rare, I consider it old. Okay, it's not that old. I'm probably older than this material, but it's a rare find, and it's one that I've been looking for a while, and I found it at a price that was higher than what most people would pay, but not for me. For me, it was lower than what I would pay for something similar. So as long as it is what it says it is, I'm going to be very happy when it arrives. I got it off of eBay. At the same time, it's funny where my mind has gone. I've been listening to an old audio, and I say old, not in the long sense, but the short sense. So this is only a handful of years old. Let's see, this would be 2017, so 4 years. In fact, 4 years. Then the reason why I listened to it, because I remember listening to it when my daughter was born. And if you remember from previous episodes, she just celebrated her 4th birthday. So that's why it came back fresh in my mind. And I was having the discussion with another business owner and helping him kind of draft a plan for moving forward. And I said, this technique might be useful to you. So I went back, re-listened to these business people that had been running this prospecting technique, that at the time I wasn't that certain about it. It didn't seem as foolproof as some of the stuff that I had been using, but in the right circumstances, I totally see now how useful it could possibly be. And especially this was something that was pre-COVID, obviously 4 years ago. It was pre a whole lot of the scenarios that we have today nowadays, with video chat being so available and everything else. This prospecting technique made perfect sense, and I'm like, this could be huge if we can reinstitute this back. If he can do it, if I can help him through that process of reinstituting this technique, this could be huge. So I went back and listened to it. Sure enough, it had all the signs of all these things that back then, yeah, it could work in the right circumstances, but now it's almost ideal because of the situation that we're currently in. So this is 2021 that we're filming this, and we're gone through basically a shutdown of the economy via disease and the government's reaction to the disease. And so that's where we're still at to a certain extent. So it's like, this is just what the doctor ordered. I'm very happy I ran back into it. The technique itself is not what's important. It's not the tactic. What's important is you could build a strategy based on the principle that the tactic was built off of. The principle makes sense, and it will never go away. And a person could listen to the same thing, readapt the technology, let's say 20 years from now. The person can re-listen to this and completely switch it to fit the technology of the time, and it will still be a useful technique if you understand the principles that make it function properly. Once again, we're back onto this whole principle discussion that we've talked about a lot in the last month of videos here. Hopefully that makes sense to you. Go out, look for good history, good business history. It will teach you a lot about where you're at right now if you can grasp the principle behind the tactics. Hopefully that's helpful. Hey, we'll be back here tomorrow night. In the meantime, you get out there and let the magic happen.